My name is Lothika Pai, the City of Chicago's Chief Small Business Officer and Managing Deputy Commissioner for the Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, also known as BACP. The BACP curated Behind the Business License series showcases the value of our Neighborhood Business Development Center program for current and future business owners. The program consists of over 60 local business service organizations that provide no-cost, hyper-local business support. This episode features the North River Commission and Restoried Bookshop. Chicago's Albany Park is regarded as one of the most ethnically and linguistically diverse areas in the city, earning it the nickname the Gateway to the World. North River Commission, NRC, is a community and economic development organization committed to enhancing the well-being of its diverse community through collaboration, engagement, and coalition building. Restoried Bookshop is an independent bookstore whose mission is to build a more interconnected and empowered community by amplifying the stories of Asian Americans and other communities of color through the love of reading.
So Restoried Bookshop is about painting a more complete picture of our past and a more vibrant vision for our future. I spent a lot of years doing community organizing work and public policy work, and I kept finding that folks didn't understand or hadn't learned the histories of Asian Americans, or I would go to the bookstores and maybe there was a shelf of Asian American authors, but a lot of them were actually like Asian people abroad. And it was really frustrating for me to not be able to see our stories reflected on the shelves. And so friends of mine and I had been talking for the last 15 years now about how important a space like this could be. And I got to a point where I figured, I'm gonna do it. I wanna make this happen. And so here we are. I am inspired every day to grow and keep contributing into this business because of so many different things. I love Albany Park. I love Chicago. I love telling stories. And honestly, one of the biggest is my daughters. I'm a dad. I grew up in rural Colorado and I never had access to anything like this. And for me to be able to curate a space where the stories from our communities are seen, uplifted, and celebrated, and to be part of curating that for my daughters and other kids and young folks, and honestly also grown-ups in the community, to be able to walk in here and see themselves on the shelves means the world to me. And so every time I see that smile on someone's face, every time a neighbor comes in and just wants to talk about what's going on in life or meet someone new, those are those moments that inspire me to keep going. Some of the challenges that we faced, there were a few along the way. Making a transition from working in nonprofits and doing this kind of policy and organizing work that I had done for so many years. There was a learning curve going from how do I get a paycheck to how do I open a business is wild. Things like finding a place where we can open a business that's at a reasonable rate of rent. Rent prices are skyrocketing around the city, and it's not only impacting us as people that live in the neighborhood, but also for businesses that are trying to open in the neighborhood, and finding access to capital for investors. I was a stay-at-home dad for the year before we opened, and so there weren't a whole lot of options and opportunities out there for funding for going from stay-at-home parent to opening up the bookstore of your dreams in a community space. And so those were some challenges. And we also see those same things impacting our community. The neighbors that come in just to hang out and talk, we're always talking about actually those exact same things, among others. But yeah, we've been really fortunate. We found this place, this location. We got support from the North River Commission and from Allies for Community Business. And we've been really lucky so far. I connected with the North River Commission because I had spent the last 16 years of my life doing public policy work and community organizing, and I had no idea what I was doing. I reached out for support. I did the courses online for so many things, and I think I'm the kind of person who wants to read through all of the fine print, all of the flow charts, all of the documents before I jump into a thing so I understand what's coming my way. I felt like I didn't quite know exactly where to start other than the internet, and fortunately, I was able to connect with North River Commission, and they had some resources that were really helpful to help streamline some of my process and help me think through order of operations of getting this business up and off the ground, and being able to make introductions to other folks in the neighborhood and other resources from the city that could help me open and bring this dream to life. When I reached out to North River Commission, some of the things that they offered help with were fantastic. I had already started on my business license and the lease, and they helped make sure that, I didn't mess up some step in the process, and they helped me make sure that I was able to understand some of the questions around what permits I need for awnings and some of the outdoor space. They were able to connect me with the security camera rebate system, which was important for me in particular, because going from stay-at-home dad to small business, it's a lot of your life savings that gets put into that place, and so having something like that helps us be able to just move forward without having to take as much of that investment, and it helps us bring the space to life faster. We're really grateful for all of the support they've been giving us since we started. The entrepreneurship certificate program was actually really easy for me to complete. 6 webinars in 6 months. The only hard part was figuring out which sessions I wanted to go to, because there were a lot, and it was honestly a little over my head when I was thinking about how do I go from writing legislation and analyzing policy proposals to how do I open my doors to the community. And so the entrepreneurship program really helped me with a lot of the technical skills and being able to assuage some of my questions around how do I apply for a business license, or how do I look at financial statements and documents, and how can I start building some of those barometers for measuring my own both capacity and success, or simple things about how do I go about permitting and what kind of permits do I need. And I also really enjoyed some of the other opportunities to hear from others about what growing a small business community looks like, and some of the other ways that folks have been successful around the city. I think that's one of the things that I've loved in being in this role is we have a different relationship with the small business owners in our neighborhood, and we're able to celebrate each other, hype each other up, and point neighbors to the rest of the neighborhood, and make sure that we're all supporting each other. So. Working with the city was actually so much easier than I thought. I think I had an image in my head of there's going to be a lot of complicated forms, it's going to take a long time, and who am I even going to talk to? It was actually so much easier. Admittedly, we're a bookstore, and so I think maybe I had this idea of we got to get all these different things lined up. The form was easy. I encountered a small hiccup, and the folks at BACP were so helpful and ready to just help me navigate it. We didn't get our certificate delivered, and I was panicking a little bit, and so I called down to the city, to the office. I was able to go down, and I had my license in hand, walked out the door, and grabbed some ice cream with my daughter on our way back. It was so much easier than I thought it would be. So for folks that are thinking about or in the process of building out their small business in their community, you love your community, and I'm excited to see what you are building. And I know that I am not always the best at asking for help when I need it, but I am really glad that I did reach out to my NBDC just to help assuage my nerves, make sure I was crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's. And I would encourage you to reach out to your NBDC. And if this is your first time doing something like this, it doesn't hurt to have someone that you can bounce ideas off of who's also invested in the growth of your neighborhood and community, and can hopefully help navigate through all of the fun and exciting curveballs that are thrown your way in this process. Having a City of Chicago business license, it's kind of an emotional thing. I am just so excited to be able to have this thing in hand where I am able to build something in my community to give back and contribute in different ways, where I'm able to try something new. For me, as an Asian American kid that grew up in rural Colorado that has loved Chicago since I was little, to be able to curate this kind of space that celebrates Asian Americans and other communities of color in one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the city, it means a lot. And for me to be able to use this as a space where I'm able to raise my daughters in a neighborhood where they feel seen, where they're able to access these kind of stories, and they're able to feel like they are a part of building something with me, it's just, you can't replace it.
We are the North River Commission and the Albany Park Chamber of Commerce, located here in Albany Park. So we are the NBDC for this neighborhood, one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. We are a melting pot of cultures, so that means we have a wide variety of businesses that have very different needs. Some of the programs and services that we provide as an NBDC is everything from permitting, licensing, access to capital, rebate programs through our being a sole service provider for the Special Service Area 60. That's for Albany Park and Irving Park. And we also do workshops and training for some of our small businesses. Some of the challenges and struggles that we experience that business owners also go through is really understanding some of the city processes, whether that's being able to go online or navigating permitting and licensing. And so as an NBDC, that's where we can come in. We help every business owner every step of the way and to help remove barriers that might stall their progress. Some of the assistance that we provided for Justin, especially when he first started. And as you can imagine, as a new business owner, he had a list of things that he needed. So he was in the very beginning phases of branding, so we were able to connect him with some artists and graphic designers, access to some community lenders and some bank partners, as well as some marketing support. We were able to build a social media presence and help build the momentum from our end to excite and build momentum for his grand opening. We also scheduled a ribbon cutting ceremony with the wards office and with the alderwomen, and had a great celebration where a lot of the community members came out to celebrate and welcome Restoried Bookshop. Restoried Bookshop sits within the Special Service Area 60 on Kedzie Avenue. We have rebate programs such as the security camera rebate program, and so that gives a rebate program to businesses to help install security cameras inside and outside of their stores, providing safety for business owners and customers. One of the other rebate programs that Justin will also participate in is our facade rebate program, and that's a program that helps with beautification with the facade of our storefront, so that includes construction or reconstruction, redesigning of your storefront windows, doors, and signages. Restoried Bookshop is more than just a bookstore. It has become a cultural hub, a very safe and inclusive space for our neighborhood, and it really reflects the diversity of our neighborhood here in Albany Park. We use Justin's story as a real-life example that inspire other entrepreneurs to bring their ideas to life here, and that we can support them and they can thrive here with our support as an NBDC. Albany Park has changed a lot in the last 10 years, and Kedzie Avenue being a great example and model of the revitalization. We have new housing developments, we have new businesses that have come into the neighborhood, and a business like this, it's really a great impact to this avenue and this commercial corridor itself. It's very close to the Brown Line. It gets a lot of foot traffic. It's a very colorful space as well, and it's a very welcoming space. We lack community spaces in Albany Park, so this is a great way to bring community together, and then to also open up different possibilities to what kinds of other businesses can come into this neighborhood. I believe NBDCs are critical to Chicago's small business ecosystem because we are on the ground. We know our neighborhoods very well, we can build trust, and we can walk you through every step of the process. I think NBDCs are vital because we are a link between the small business owner and the city of Chicago, and our small business community are the economic engine of our city and who really help make our city vibrant and successful.
New Behind the Business License episodes air every other Tuesday on Cable 25, and reruns occur continuously. Also, episodes can be viewed by visiting youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. Our guests will always have valuable information to share, so please join us next time on Behind the Business License.